Yo guys, welcome to the Zelda fiction. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the Mirage Blade Fox? Part 8. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. The third Hokage was in a bad mood. Why? Instead of telling, he'd rather I show you. Naruto Tsunade called the boy for the 17th time. Please say something. He had been sitting in front of the Ichiraku's ramen stand for nearly an hour. All of his Harem were standing behind him worried, except Samui who has yet to come back. He hadn't even touched his ramen, not a single noodle. Times he called as if she hadn't been trying to get his attention. Do you think I abuse my power? He asked her my relationship with any of you. The women went quiet at the question. Why the hell would you think that? Tayuya asked. It's his second biggest fear. QB stated to be like an Ichiha. What's his second? Samui asked only for Naruto to answer. To be alone. He spoke in a dead tone without any of my Harems. That's fucking it. Tayuya snapped. I can't take this bitching and moaning. Do something random. Tsunade. Do something that's fucking insane. Tayuya. Spread fear. QB. Eat your ramen. Am snapped. He just sat there. Naruto's funk had been going on for nearly a week. It put his Harems in a funk of their own, which put Naruto even deeper. You get where I'm going with this, right? There's only one solution here. The fifth Hokage thought. I see, that's not cool. Samui stated after being informed on Naruto, but what do you wish for me to do, Hokage-sama? Drop the formalities. Tsunade spoke warmly. Naruto wanted us to see each other as equals. That's cool. I will explain when the guest of honor appears. You called Fo Samui Harem. Naruto called in a drastically happier voice. The Chunin gave her a bear hug. I've missed you too. She laughed as she returned the hug. I hear you've been in a funk. Yeah. He said as he started to return to it. Well, we're going to fix that. Tsunade quickly stated. Before she could finish, the door opened to reveal the rest of Team 7. You wish to see us, Hokage-sama? Kakashi asked as if Naruto wasn't there. Yes, I have some important news. She stated. Naruto. Oh Kami, this is it. He groaned. You're leaving me, aren't you? Nar. Who's it for? He asked Jiraiya. No. She screamed. Is it Sasuke? He asked in fear. If it is, I'm burning this tower to the ground with us in it. Naruto. We'll be together in hell. He stated, drawing his elemental sword. Baka. Tsunade screamed as she punched him in the head. I'm not going anywhere, Team 7 is. She stated. You're being given a 2-week-long paid vacation. She stated in a tone that brokered no argument. All of Team 7. Even the back Sakura was silenced by Kakashi. What's the catch? He asked. You must make sure he comes back happy. She stated, pointing to Naruto. If he does, you will be paid S rank, if not D rank. Kakashi was sure there was something more to the vacation. He was sure, if he went on it, he would regret it. But come on, he mentally countered. Paid. Deal. Tsunade turned her eyes to Naruto. I am ordering you as your Hokage. She glared at Naruto to come back happy. Her eyes softened. But I'm begging as your Harem to come back happy. Why am I here again, Tsunade? We have much to plan. Team 7 and Naruto, hint hint, was waiting at the pier several villages away. They were waiting for a cruise ship that would take them to a tourist village. Are you the people here for the cruise? The captain asked and received a nod. I thought there were 4 of you. What do you? Where's Naruto? The shinobi looked around, but they couldn't see him. It was as if he had vanished. All that was left was a letter that said, going for a walk. Sir. The captain called. The ship leaves in 20 minutes, with or without you. Don't worry, Kakashi stated with determination. It'll be with us. But Sensei Sasuke called. How are we going to find the dope? As if by divine intervention, the Uchiha received an answer. In the form of unholy screams of people in the process of a stampede. The single man latched onto Kakashi. The horror, the horror. He screamed. The PG-13 horror. Follow the fear. The Jounin ordered. The stampede was forming around a single shop. The ramen shop. Naruto was currently following Samui to Kumo. How, you ask? If he's with Team 7. Simple, he's the real Wild. That one is a blood clone. It's still a part of him with Team 7. Naruto, when we get to Kumo, I want to introduce you to my friends. Samui stated happily. It'll be so cool for you to meet them. Naruto saw how happy she was and wasn't able to suppress a smile of his own. Well, if she's happy, I'm happy. We all know what a happy Naruto is like. Naruto. Kakashi yelled in outrage. Where are? What did you do? He took a calming breath before asking, why did you kill that guy? There laying on the ground was a man, obviously dead. He had numerous stabbing wounds and he was missing his hands. Beside him was Naruto, standing innocently. I didn't do this. Naruto stated. Then explain what happened. He ordered. Well, I came to get something to eat. Go on. Then this guy walked in. And? So I stabbed him 37 times. Aka. Sakura snapped, that kills people. But I hit non-vital spots. Naruto defended. It could have been his ass, he still would be dead. Oh, wow. Naruto stated as if it were shocking information. Where are his hands? Sakura asked. What? His hands, why are they missing? I tossed them into my ramen and ate them. That's sick. I was hungry, and when you crave hands, he trailed off. Why on earth would you do that? My tummy was making the rumblies. Naruto stated darkly that only hands would satisfy. Kakashi was cut off by the sound of a whistle. A ship whistle. Now pulling off. No, not without us. Kakashi cried, I don't want to be late this time. The Jounin grabbed the children and ran full speed. In seconds he was at the pier. Only to see the ship had set sail. Looks like we missed them. Naruto stated. Not on my watch. Kakashi stated. He grabbed each of them and threw them far into the ocean. He then ran himself. It took him a few minutes to realize only Naruto was following him on the sea's surface. Kakashi, did you teach them water walking? No, he did not. Naruto and Samui had reached Kumo in record time. They had entered and now he was meeting her friends. Naruto, this is my brother Atsui. She motioned to a male lookalike, my teammates Kari and Amoy and Sensei Killer B. She motioned to 3 darkies and my friend Yujito Nai. I'm black, so I can say darkies. It's nice to meet you all. Naruto greeted. The Kumo shinobi were in the process of getting along with Naruto. All except Yujito, she stayed away, as if she were having a massive headache. Why? Because she's the host of the two-tailed cat. Hidden, you must jump him. No Nibi, she mentally screamed for the 3rd time, besides, he's already taken. In an open relationship. Nibi countered. In a harem, he's obviously a pervert. He's obviously doing something right if he can keep 4 women. Yujito couldn't keep her face from turning deep red. Damn it Nibi, you show. Hello Naruto greeted, extending his hand. Nice to meet you. Oh, hi. Yujito stuttered. Yujito, something's wrong. The two-tailed host went on guard when her tenant used her actual name. What's wrong? She asked as Nibi explained. You're a host. Yujito shouted. A former host. Naruto stated confused. How did your one too? The 2 tails to be specific. Yujito stated before pointing to Killer B, and he's the 8 tails. Now that they found a common ground, the two began a conversation. It turns out they had a lot in common, the only difference were the degrees. It turned out all the hate she dealt with paled in comparison to Naruto's. Yet he can still push on. She thought in admiration. Do you see? Nibi yelled, he's a real man. And you're a woman. Put what you have together and… Nibi? What, we both need this. No, you need this. Yujito corrected. You're damn right I do, Nibi snapped. I haven't been late in over 20 years. Now we can do this the easy way, or the hard way. Nai. Too late. I'm making the choice. Yujito was feeling something she hadn't felt in a long time. So long that it took her a minute to realize what was happening. Her tailed beast was trying to get control. No, not trying. She did. Nibi, how could you? Sorry kitten, but I need this. Now sit back and watch mama get her freak on. The Nibi-possessed body walked toward Naruto in a sexy manner. She latched her arms around his neck and twisted her body around. She made sure to grind her bottom onto his crotch. Everyone's jaw fell at the sight. Oh Naruto-kun, she purred, I just love a big piece of meat, she stated as she pressed her bottom further onto his ya, and unlike some girls, I always want more. She leaned her face in, know what I'm saying? Oh, I think I do. Naruto stated with an all too familiar smile. We made it. Kakashi exclaimed. He had to run back, make a clone, then catch up with the ship again. It would have been easier if Naruto had helped or even sent a clone to help. No, that Chunin decided to leave them. His excuse, I'm going for a walk. Now he was sunbathing on the ship surrounded by beautiful women. Well, we're here now. Kakashi thought joyously. Now all we need to do is sit back and relax. Ah. That's not fair. I'm back. Naruto screamed. He was breathing very heavily and his shirt was torn. Under his left arm was a pig and on his right was a half-grown cow. What he returned to was a Nibi-possessed Yujito tied to a chair. Amoy was in the process of sliding bacon sausages onto an overly large plate. Dropping the animals, he ran to them. He grabbed handfuls of the food and started placing them into her mouth. Quickly Amoy, bring more bacon. He ordered quickly, I say, before she craves human flesh. What kind of idiot is he? Atsui asked. One returning to his old self. Samui stated with a warm smile, one that Naruto returned. At least get me some salmon. Nibi spoke through a mouthful. Nibi? What, I'm hungry. Nibi tried to defend, besides, he's only playing hard to get. Baka? Sakura screamed, what was that for? I don't know what you're talking about. Naruto stated innocently. You sunk an entire cruise ship. Sasuke growled. It was true, right behind them was the cruise ship. It was cut in half and the part still afloat was on fire. Now it was a sea of lifeboats. Are you sure that was me? Naruto asked. I think I would remember something like that. You stabbed the captain in the face. That sounds dangerous. Naruto stated. You started headbutting people off the side of the ship. You even made out with the ice sculpture. It looked like one of my Heims. He tried to defend. Why? They asked as one in outrage. I don't need to explain myself. Naruto stated. I'm going for a walk. And he did, on the middle of the ocean. Well, let's enjoy the moment without him. Sasuke stated. Sensei Sakura spoke, gaining the others' attention. What are we standing in? He looked down and noticed for the first time that the lifeboat was red and sticky. A strawberry milkshake. He lied. It's too red for straw. It's melted gumdrops. He lied even harder. No. Some of he thought of a lie. The truth. Sasuke ordered. Fine, it's the couple across from our room. Naruto stated as he seemed to fade in. Why? Was all that was asked. They were eating all of the ramen. Naruto answered blankly. Where are the other lifeboats? Sasuke asked upon seeing the empty sea. All eyes turned to Naruto. What? He asked too innocently. The lifeboats? Were? Kakashi growled. While looking at the moon and sun. Naruto stated scientifically at the bottom of the ocean. He grinned evilly. I cut lots of holes in them. You're just worse than usual. Sakura screamed. SHH, do you hear that? Naruto asked. It's the sound of forgiveness. That's the sound of people drowning dope. Sasuke stated. That's what forgiveness sounds like. Naruto stated, screaming, and then silence. So Samui Haim. Naruto spoke. Is there a ramen shop around here? Yes, but not as good as Ichiraku. She answered. As they arrived they ran into her team and sensei again. Apparently there was a contest, there was a commotion they were called to solve. I'm telling you, your license is being revoked. Kara yelled. Why? The owner asked. Because you keep trying to sell everyone that same bowl of ramen. She answered. It's gone bad. There's no such thing as bad ramen. Naruto stated, making himself known. Where is it? Go get the ramen. The owner ordered to his assistant. Here you are, sir. The assistant returned with a bird cage. There in the cage was a bowl of the strangest ramen known to man. Its broth were a thick lime green that would pop with bubbles. The noodle itself was swollen and black that squirmed around. Why is it in a cage? The owner asked. It growled at me. As if known it was being talked about, the ramen growled. The action caused the civilians to run and hide. The shinobi all drew their weapons and formed in seals. Cowards, let's see how bad you are. Naruto stated as he opened the cage and grabbed the ramen. Whoa there, ramen, whoa. It continued to hiss and bark. When I say whoa, I mean whoa. The ramen went silent. Good boy. Grabbing a pair of chopsticks, he took the first bite. He sat in silence. Well? The crowd asked expectantly. How is it? I taste death. He answered before foaming at the mouth. A moment later he was being rushed to a hospital. Sasamui-chan, he weakly called. Yes, Naruto-kun. She asked through teary eyes. Rarape up hat ramen. He stated. I'm not done with it. Naruto had been in the hospital for nearly half a day. Apparently the ramen was so bad it got past his immune system. He was fine now, but the doctors wanted to be sure. Now he had to wait until the doctors dismissed him. Naruto-kun, a voice purred. Nibi? Yujito shouted in protest. He's healing. Exactly. Nibi agreed. Now he can't fight back. What? I'm a cat, I like to toy with my prey. You need to stop this. There ain't no brakes on this train. Wah. No brakes. Yes, Yujito-chan. Naruto asked. Can I help you? No, she answered, but maybe I can help you. Well, if you don't mind, he began. Could you hand me the bedpan? After sweat dropping she did so. A minute later he was finished and staring at Yujito. Is there something you want? The kunoichi crawled into his bed and straddled his hips. She leaned over and whispered. I want you to send me somewhere I've never been. She smirked. Know what I'm saying? He responded by wrapping his arms around her. Oh, I think I do. He answered. Naruto had done exactly as he was asked and sent Yujito Nibi to a place she had never been. I just hope she doesn't mind me leaving her there. He thought to himself. Now he was wandering around searching for his Haim. Hey you? A voice called toward Naruto. Yes. Naruto answered. Are you that Naruto Samui's been talking about? Yes. Here, from Killer B. He stated, handing Naruto a letter. Yo, your favorite 8 Tails hopes you get this mail. I'm hosting a music competition that describes me, Killer B. Be there or be a fool, you fool. Well, I don't want to be a fool. Naruto stated before following the directions in the letter. It turned out that it was musical combat. 2 fighters went into the ring and used their ninjutsu or genjutsu while fighting. The nin and gen were used as special effects for the audience. From what he could tell, the opponent went undefeated the last 4 rounds. Do we have any volunteers for the next round? An announcer asked. Naruto entered the ring. I'll give it a shot. His opponent just started laughing at him. You think you're red dye for my rhymes? His face began to flash red for the audience. He tried to give Naruto a roundhouse kick to the face, but was avoided. You'll soon be as green as envious limes. Lime green. He gave what would have been a fierce combo, but was also dodges. Fierce. I see you're not yellow fellow. Piss yellow. He tried to use the colors to blind Naruto, but only missed. But I don't want to make blue, so get a clue sky blue. He was angry now, he charged wildly. And purple the pluck before your played. Purple. He was tired. Or I'll arrange your rainbow on your parade. Orange added as the colors began to rotate. Hold still so I can murder you. He panted, now abandoning the rhymes. Now it was Naruto's turn. Grabbing a pair of shades he began. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Rockin' my peers and puttin' suckers in fear. Back in the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowerin'. Over the competition, I'm towerin'. Rackin' shop, when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare. Me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition's payin' the price. Chorus. I'm gonna knock you out, huh. Mama said knock you out, huh. Repeat 4x. Don't you call this a regular jam. I'm gonna rock this land. I'm gonna take this itty bitty world by storm. And I'm just jettin' warm. Just like Muhammad Ali they called him Cassius. Watch me bash this beat like a skull. 'Cause you know I had beef wit. Why do you riff with me, the maniac psycho? And when I pull out my jammy get ready 'cause it might go. Lao, how you like me now? The river will not allow you to get with Mr. Smith, don't riff. Listen to my gear shift. I'm blastin', outlastin'. Hinda like shaft, so you could say I'm shaftin'. Old English filled my mind. And I came up with a funky rhyme. Now it was time for the winner to be decided. That would be won by Killer B. The eight-tailed host walked into the ring. With tears in eyes, he offered his own shades to Naruto. The audience went wild cheering for the blonde. Nibi was no longer amused. Ironically enough, Yujito was. When Nibi had asked for Naruto to send her to a place she had never been. He did so literally. He had sent her to the bottom of a lake. No more games. Haha. I'm going to get what I want. Haha. And keep it in a jar. Haha what? No breaks. She had found them being Team Samui, Killer B, and her target Naruto. Oh Naruto-kun, she growled walking toward the blonde. I want your penis. She snapped. Oh I think I can't interpretate that. Atsui stated laughing. Or is there? Naruto stated more than asking. Where would once used to stand a proud village, there was only ruin. Everywhere you turned there was fire and endless destruction. In the center of it stood our favorite blonde and least favorite team. Naruto. A familiar voice screeched we're supposed to be on vacation. I don't know about you Naruto stated as he grinned wildly but I'm having a wonderful time. You toppled this village's entire government. Kakashi stated in disbelief. The people have spoken. Naruto stated vive la resistance. You pushed the resistance leader off a giant cliff. Kakashi shot. He was a traitor and scoundrel. He was stopping you from pushing other people off the same cliff. Before Naruto could reply, he let out a burp. A burp and a shoe. A burp and a shoe with a foot still in it. Did you eat somebody? Sakura asked in fear. Don't answer that. Kakashi ordered. We're leaving. Naruto gave a deep intake of breath. Before speaking I should warn you that I filled our bags with flesh. Giving a deep sigh, Kakashi asked what kind. Human meat of course. As if it could be anything less. I'm not even surprised anymore. Kakashi stated. I think I've been issued a challenge. Naruto stated well I'll just have to try harder. Please don't. Sakura weakly begged. Nibi was confused. The other times, in some twisted way, she could understand the outcome with Naruto. She wanted meat, she got it. She wanted to go somewhere she'd never been she went. And wasn't going back. She wanted his penis now she was at a lose. In front of her was Naruto, wearing a human-sized fish. Not an outfit, but a fish he's caught in the sea. He had gutted it and climbed inside. Wait Naruto shouted this doesn't make any sense. Sex Baka Nibi shouted I want sex. I know. Naruto stated but Yujito doesn't. The entire area went silent. What do you mean? Nibi asked as he explained. Naruto had felt a shift in the chakra when Nibi took over and knew what was happening. He would have said something but trusted in Yujito's faith in Nibi. She did not take this well. Fuck you, fuck your cock and fuck QB. She shouted giving control back to Yujito I'm going back to my cage to masturbate. So you had no intention of sleeping with me? She asked almost sulkily. Not unless my hymes are okay with it. Naruto honestly answered. I'm cool with it and the others wanted you to. Samui stated. What? Nibi heard and took control. Hold still. She ordered, making her way to him. It's not your first time, so I won't be gentle. She continued. Relax while I grab hold of your assets. I need an adult. I am an adult. No one in Kumo slept. This is why the third Hokage wasn't happy. He had to deal with the foolishness from Naruto. Not the real one, the clone. He had ended the 2-week-long vacation in just 2 days. Sinking a cruise ship. So what if they were all missing Nin? Destroying an entire village. So what if the villager were planning a coup? He had to punish Naruto for. Where is Tsunade? He asked. She should be the one dealing with this. I gave her the day off. Naruto answered. He was cut off. Before you speak, Naruto began seriously, you should know I'm not the real Naruto. Then where is he? The third asked nervously. He's in Kumo raising hell. Tell him to pick up some Kumo brand tobacco for my pipe. With a nod of his head he drew his swords. Piercing one through his heart and the other in his stomach. He gave a bloody smile before going up in a violet light. Say what you want. The third spoke to himself, but he knows how to die in style. It was time for the real Naruto to leave. He was in the process of finishing his goodbyes to his new friends. Now all he had to was peacefully leave. Booze I say, bitch. An arrogant voice screeched. Do you think I'm playing? Some civilian from the Kumo council was in the process of harassing Yujito. Leave her alone. Naruto ordered. The civilian looked at Naruto. Who the hell are you? He asked. Naruto-kun, Yujito happily called. If you don't release her, Naruto said as he released his killer intent, you'll find out. Drawing his swords. You think I'm playing? Now list. When you're bathing, he stated, I'll be there. What the he? When you're reading, he continued, I'll be there. How I? When you're sleeping, he finished, I'll be there. Naruto Samui whispered happily now that he was returning to his old self. Grabbing the civilian by the neck, he raised him high. Do you think I'm playing? No. He answered. Good. Konoha Shinobi. A nearby Anbuka led released the councilman. Naruto didn't like the smile he was seeing on the councilman's face. It was the look of someone who thought they were getting away free. Not if I have anything to say about it. Naruto thought. Hostages. He shouted, putting his sword to the councilman's neck. Samui had been happy that Naruto was returning to his old self. Now he was pushing it. It seemed that he was trying to make up for lost time. In doing so, he had taken not only a councilman hostage, but her team and a squad of Anbu. He was even able to empty an entire building and use it as a fort. No one was able to, or they'd end up as hostages. Now the Raikage was involved. It was insane, just like the man she loved. What are your demands? The Raikage asked. I want a bowl of ramen that won't try to kill me. Naruto answered immediately. More visitations from Samui Haim. He paused. I'll see what I can do. The Raikage stated. Every 5 minutes I have to wait. Naruto called to warn someone's going to get stabbed in the ass. He's bluffing. Someone screamed in the back. Stab. He's not bluffing. The same person screamed. Enough of this, B. The Raikage shouted, get in there and bring that idiot out. All you could hear was a small scuffle. A loud wee. And a gigantic crash. No, Naruto begged, you can't send me to jail, my butt can't take the abuse. Another loud crash. B-sensei. Silence. Oh no. Naruto shouted, I think I killed him. A moment of silence. They heard no witnesses. 5 minutes later there was only absolute silence before. Samui, the Raikage, can't you control your husband? No. He's too happy. With a sigh, the Raikage rolled up his sleeves and made his way to the building. The village hidden in the leaves were watching a sight to behold. Naruto was tied up and being dragged through the streets of Konoha by the Raikage. Unfortunately, said Kage forgot to gag Naruto. Unhand me. Naruto shouted, I am the master of fear, the lord of despair. He ranted, cower before me and witness terror. Hi Naruto-sensei. The Konohamaru greeted, not the least bit surprised at the sight. Hi K-core. Naruto greeted, do me a favor and tell my Haims I'm taking them on a date tonight. Naruto spoke to them. On it? They stated as they ran off. Now where was I? Naruto asked. Our in terror. Samui answered for him. Thanks Haim. Naruto stated, scream Hisana of anguish to Naruto Uzumaki, the all-terrible god of fear. Naruto? The third asked. Before Naruto could speak he said, don't care, where's my tobacco? Right here. He handed it over before returning to his rant, worship me fools, worship me. He screamed to the Raikage and Konoha civilians. And in exchange for him not setting foot inside Kumagakure again, the Raikage spoke, we wish to open a full alliance with Konoha. Deal. Tsunade stated, let's seal it over sake. Does this mean Samui Haim can visit more? Naruto asked from inside his cage. Yes. Can I come out of the cage now? Naruto asked. No. The Kages answered simultaneously. Can you come in then, Slugheim? Oh, go ahead. The Raikage shouted, I know you want to. Grabbing the sake bottle, she climbed inside. The former mistresses of the leaf were in a funk. They were the most discussed topic in the gossip world. They were one some of most respected and feared kunoichi in the leaf. Now they had lost their title and the respect with it. Well, some of us, Anko thought bitterly. She got to keep her title as mistress simply because it was a waste. It also affected them on a personal level. Kurenai couldn't teach her team properly. Hinata would constantly attack her, both verbally and physically. It's amazing what anger can do for that girl. Kurenai thought. Yugao had lost face in public, but it wasn't totally bad. As a member of Anbu, she was constantly concealed to the shadows. Anko had become a laughingstock. Everyone had heard the comment from Naruto on her going soft. Now she had to take it out on her victims in interrogation. That ended in quite a few deaths, which is the same as sloppy work. Hana was in trouble with her mom. Anyone who's ever been in trouble with their mom knows that nothing else needs to be said. Another piss drop in their sour lemonade was Naruto. The boy who had made them lose control and then defeated them. There was a bit of humor in that. The old say of the student surpassing the master rung loudly. While they were upset at their loss of face, it wasn't all. They had done the exact same thing to Naruto as when they first met him. They heard him out of their own foolishness and showed what he was. The boy just afraid to be alone again. They thought. Now he was in a funk as well. He was questioning his relationship with his new Heims. All because we couldn't let him win, Kurenai thought. Enough. Anko shouted, slamming her sake bottle onto the ground next to the other 17. What are you talking about, Anko? Yugao asked. We've been in this pity party too long. Anko slurred, we've done nothing but drink sake and eat dango for the last few days. That was all you. Hana corrected, you wouldn't share either of them. Not the point. She yelled as she attempted to stand up, sure we've lost our titles and respect. She paused, we still have our skills, our looks and our uterus. With her words said, the kunoichi passed out. Silence. I agree with Anko. Kurenai spoke up as a smirk grew on her face. Naruto may have won, but we have a title even he can't take from us. What? Hana asked. The Ice Queens of Konoha. Yugao exclaimed in understanding. Are we not kunoichi of the Hidden Leaf Village? Kurenai asked. Yes. They answered. Are we not some of the most sought after women? Kurenai asked. Yes. They answered more enthusiastically. Are we not carriers of the almighty uterus? Yes. They screamed. Then let's show this village who we are. By paying the bill your drunk friend built up. A voice spoke up. The kunoichi looked toward the source of the voice. It was the bartender and owner of the establishment. In his hand was a bill, a large bill, their bill. Oppressive man. Kurenai shouted as she kicked him in the ball. Grabbing their passed out friend, they made a break for it. But not before giving a final shout of almighty uterus. A day later and a day sober. They had a plan. They would give their men the honor of taking them out. They were not having simple dates either. No, they were going to paint the village red. Who cares if they had a hard day? Who cares if they had to work in the morning? Who cares if they had to go on a S-rank mission? They would not be denied. They would go out to be treated to a lovely evening. Sexy outfit? They listed. Check. Lovely evening planned? They listed. Check. Men? They listed. Close enough. So Asuma rustled for a topic. How was your day? Could have been better. Kurenai grunted. How's your team do? Kurenai cut him off. Don't want to talk about work. Well, what do you want to talk about? Asuma tried. Just order your food. Kurenai ordered. I'm not hungry. He mumbled, he had actually eaten before he was kidnapped, surprised for his date. Order something. Kurenai snapped. At least she's treating. He thought, right. Anko and Iruka were in a bar that they frequented. Iruka to restock his supplier, Anko to drink. Surprisingly, it was never together, just separate. Hello, Iruka-sen, the owner called, not noticing Anko here for a monthly restock already. He asked, not waiting for an answer. I've got your 200 bottles ready. This caught Anko by surprise. 200 bottles, she thought. No, not today. Iruka answered sheepishly, I'm here on a date. This time he did notice Anko, and he was pissed. Hey, you still owe me money for all the sake you had. He shouted. Who, me? Anko asked innocently. Yes, you. Couldn't be. Anko exclaimed. Then who? He asked. You. Anko accused, pointing at Iruka. Who, me? He asked. Yes, you. Not. Enough, the owner shouted, someone's paying the bill now. All eyes turned to Iruka. Who? He was cut off by a slap from the owner. Hey, we'll pay off the debt. A new voice spoke for a favor. The three turned to a group of men. They were eyeing Anko with obvious intent. She turned to Iruka expectantly. Well what? He asked. Aren't you going to be a man? She asked only to see his confused look. They're just words, Anko. Haruka spoke as if she were a kid. Besides, I thought you didn't care what others think of you. I don't, she admitted to herself, but it's the principle of the matter. Anko grudgingly sat, and though if Naruto were here she quickly cut that train of thought. We'll be man enough for you. The man spoke again, if you catch my drift. Enough. Anko growled. Grabbing Haruka by his collar, she threw him into the group of men. Defend my honor, she demanded. They all stared expectantly at Haruka. And stared. And stared. And stared. And blinked. Followed by more staring. Fine. Anko screamed, I'll be the man. She looked at everyone there. I'll be man enough for all of you. Anko, I don't like where this is going. Haruka stopped when he saw her weaving signs. Trouser snake jutsu. Everyone stopped what they were doing. You're all my bitches now. Kurenai was furious, and Asuma was scared. What's wrong? Asuma asked again. It was supposed to be my night. She mentally raged. And he ruins it. I treated you to a nice dinner. She stated. I ordered a steak. What do you do? She asked too calmly. Let it go to waste. Well, you were treating. He defended. Turning around, she slapped him. The blow had more force than Asuma had expected. It knocked him to the ground. That's right. She screamed. I order steak, then you order steak. She slapped him again. You don't go rogue and order lobster. But why? You know how I am with steak. He chalked out. She grabbed him by the collar of his suit and pulled him up. If I'm paying for steak, then I better be getting some. She snapped before letting him go. "'Kay. Drop your pants." Asuma wasn't sure he heard her right. What? Drop your pants. Yugao and Hate were having an easier time. They had went to a nice place for dinner and sake. They had a wonderful display of entertainment while eating. They were even having a nice stroll through the park. But to Yugao, something was missing. Hate had noticed that Yugao had seemed a little distant. He had wanted her to have a nice night out even if he was forced into it. Well, I know a surefire way to get her to smile. He thought triumphantly. I have something for you. He announced, pulling out a scroll. He unsealed a brand new sword. It was forged with her name carved into it. She took one glance at it. It's beautiful, she stated distantly. Wow, he thought if her tone was any colder I'd need a jacket. Let's head back to my place. She stated out of nowhere. Good idea. He quickly agreed. Asuma just laid there. After last night, he felt so used. It wasn't like all the other times where he was enjoying himself. Kurenai pretty much worked him over. It felt like she was the man and he was a bitch. Now they were just laying there. You were terrible. Kurenai stated. She left the bed and began preparing for the day. Anko took another puff of the cigarette she had stolen. She looked around at her work. No one in the bar had escaped her lust. Some tried, none got very far. Some fought back only to be poisoned. They weren't given the antidote until they submitted. She looked over to Haruka, who was silent. Well, Haruka, she began, I had fun. She was met with silence. Not in a talkative mood, huh? She asked. Well, I'm not surprised. I have to go see the girls, so. You should try screaming less. She stated distractedly, it makes it less awkward. Whimper. Hate had to admit he was disappointed. It felt as if the night before had been mechanical. As his thought continued down their path, he felt a shift in the blankets. Yugao was up and leaving. Yugao, he spoke. Why wouldn't you look at me during? She didn't answer. Where are you going? He asked. I have a meeting with the girls. She answered. Well, can't you be a little late? He asked. We never talk. She paused long enough to glance at him. Feel free to raid the fridge, but be gone by noon. She stated. Ouch, he thought, pained. As she made her way to the door, he made one last attempt. Yugao. He called, stopping her. I love you. She closed the door. Well, Hana stated as she looked at her friends. How were your dates? A disappointment. They answered. And yours? I didn't go on one. Hana admitted. She stayed home and ate ice cream. No one wanted anything to do with me. She looked at her friends. Well, dish. So the ice queens did. Wow, even I think that was cold. Anko stated to Yugao. Yeah, well, you're going to jail. She retorted. So are you, Kurenai. He wanted it. The former Genjutsu mistress stated, even if he didn't know it. A moment of silence. So what do we do? Yugao asked. We dump them and find someone else. Anko stated. They'd all just be a downgrade from. Don't say it. Kurenai ordered. They sat in a tense silence that wasn't broken until someone yelled. The Raikage is dragging Naruto back. The village hidden in the leaves were watching a sight to behold. Naruto was tied up and being dragged through the streets of Konoha by the Raikage. Unfortunately, said Kage forgot to gag Naruto. Unhand me. Naruto shouted. I am the master of fear, the lord of despair. Here anted cower before me and witness terror. Hi, Naruto-sensei. The Konohamaru greeted, not the least bit surprised at the sight. Hi, K-core. Naruto greeted. Do me a favor and tell my Himes I'm taking them on a date tonight. Naruto spoke to them. On it? They stated as they ran off. Now where was I? Naruto asked. Witness terror. Samui answered for him. Thanks Haim. Naruto stated. Scream Hisana of anguish to Naruto Uzumaki, the all-terrible god of fear. Naruto? The third asked. Before Naruto could speak he said don't care, where's my tobacco? Right here. He handed it over before returning to his rant. Worship me fools, worship me. He screamed to the Raikage and Konoha civilians. It wasn't until a few hours later that they left the Hokage's office. Apparently Naruto had caused an alliance between the two villages. After the agreement was struck, Naruto and Tsunade went at it. They didn't even stop when the Raikage asked to be let out of the office. At this the former mistresses laughed. They laughed so hard that tears fell. Soon the laughing stopped, but the tear didn't. They were outright crying. I remember when Neri-chan and I had sex at the most awkward moments. Anko stated. He satisfied me. I remember when Neri-chan was willing to treat me lovingly and still give me space. Kurenai stated. I remember when Neri-chan would always make me laugh. Yugao stated. I remember when he made me feel loved. Hana stated. They sat in a silence of true understanding. So it's agreed. Kurenai stated. We get off Naruto's shit list. Anko started. And back onto his Haim list. Hana finished. Agreed. But will he take us back? Anko asked in a rare moment of worry. I think you all know the answer. A new but familiar voice stated. They turned to see. The current Haims Tayuya, QB and Samui. What the hell are you all doing here? Anko asked. And what do you mean we know the answer? Kurenai joined. The former Haims glared at the current ones. Well, we were on a walk to meet Naruto for our date when we overheard you four. Samui answered. We just want to warn you bitches. Tayuya spoke. Stay the hell away from our Naruto. Anko stepped forward with a confident smirk. Hey, if don't want us being near him, that means you're worried our chances of getting him are pretty high. She knew how this game worked. To many women, were suspicious if she were around their men for more than 5 seconds. Wrong. QB stated. We're worried that if you somehow worm yourselves into his heart, you'll just break it again. We won't. Hana whispered. We just want him to love us again. There was pain in her voice, a pain that all four of them shared. It only grew whenever they saw the new Haims on Naruto's arm. 2 of the greatest pains known to both man and woman. Guilt and heartbreak. A pain that could only be healed with 2 things. Forgiveness and love. Well, don't get your hopes up. QB stated. I know Naruto is forgiving, but getting something like that is near impossible. Well, we'll just have to see about that. Hana growled. Watch where you growl, bitch. Tayuya ordered. How dare she? Hana thought. Only Naruto-kun can call me that. For in Inuzuka, the term was taken differently than other women. Well, he intends to call you that and more. Samui spoke. Maybe you should all head back to your boyfriends. QP stated. We don't want them. Kurenai stated. We only want one. Yugao stated. You will not get near him. Samui stated. Who's going to stop us? Anko asked. Samui drew her sword, while Tayuya drew her flute. The former mistresses drew their weapons as well. Naruto will be ours. Hana snapped. What? The former mistresses turned to see their now ex-boyfriends. Asuma, Hayate and Iruka. When a man finds out their woman loves another man, there are 3 reactions. Self-doubt. What did I do wrong? Betrayal. How could she? The most common, however, is the strongest. Rage. I'll kill him. That reaction was going in full swing for the male trio. And they all had the same target. Naruto. The shudder went down our favorite blonde spine. What was that? Tsunade asked as they sat in the restaurant. I think I pissed someone off. Naruto answered. What? But you've just been sitting there. Tsunade cried. We haven't even ordered our dinner. Where are the other Haims? Naruto asked. Tsunade shrugged. Naruto decided to search for their chakra signatures. To do so, he needed to spread out his range and feel for them. First he felt Tsunade Haim. The customers in the restaurant. The citizens going about their day. Asuma, Hayate, and Iruka moving toward him in anger. More civilly. What? He felt the male trio's chakra constantly go off. An obvious sign of anger, that in the killer intent. Naruto Uzumaki. They screamed. I haven't even done anything. He spoke to himself. They entered the restaurant like savages. Their weapons were drawn and their killer intent flowed out like a river. What is going on? The Hokage demanded. Your precious boy toy has stolen our girlfriends. Asuma spoke again. How in the Tsunade was at a loss. You know what? No. Snapping her hands, the Anbu guards were out. They had surrounded the men and were ready to strike. She turned her attentions to Naruto. Or at least where he was supposed to be. The Haims and the mistresses were at a standstill. Kurenai and Tayuya. Yugao and Samui. Hana and QB. Anko and Naruto was standing between the Anbu and the intruding men. And he was angry. His rage had caused the bit that was being directed toward him to fail. They felt as if they were having a physical weight adding pressure onto them. It was enough to force all three of them to their knees. When they finally raised their head, they saw Naruto swing his elemental sword. Chakra-laced wind. Not the kind that cut everything to shreds. It was more pressure. They were blown outside of the door onto their backs. Naruto made his way out to them. The Anbu decided to stay back until the Hokage ordered differently. What is going on? Naruto asked them, why are my Heims fighting against your girlfriends? That's what we want to know. Hate screamed. Well, we are going to go find out. Naruto stated, well, come on, or do I have to drag you? I can't feel my legs. Haruka moaned in agony. Bragging it is. Naruto. Tsunade called, I'm assuming our date is cancelled. Naruto nodded in reply, well, I'm grabbing some sake and heading back to the office. The women had been squaring off since the men had come and gone. They had been flaring their chakra, trying to intimidate the opposite group. Now they were going to strike. They each took a step forward. They had expected a lot of things. The jutsu. The war cry. The bitch slap. Even a kunai. What they didn't expect was for Naruto's Kusanagi blade to come crashing down between them. The blade was imbued with so much force that instead of sinking into the ground, it caused a quake. If that wasn't enough, Naruto wasn't wielding it. But he was close. Here it comes. Tayuya stated. We've experienced it before. Yugao thought. This aggressive aura Kurenai trembled. This fighting spirit Hana admired. This demonic aura Anko relished. This hate they all feared. They had felt Naruto's fear power many times. But even now, they were rarely on the receiving end. For the Heims, it was like being in a pair of strong and protective arms. For the Ice Queens, it was like having the cold steel of a blade to their necks. Naruto. All 7 women spoke. Ice Queens. Naruto stated, what are you doing here? The Ice Queen looked to one another. This was their chance to tell how they felt and beg for forgiveness. Well, Naruto-kun. Kurenai spoke hesitantly, gaining a raised eyebrow. She motioned to her friends, we're having a serious discussion and we were hoping. We want you to take us back. Anko stated. Naruto looked at the women he once called sensei and lovers. He looked at his Heims to see if it was some kind of joke. One look said the situation was real. They expected shouts of protest. Anger. Disbelief. They had even prayed for forgiveness. What they got was laughter. Not mocking laughter or even his usual madness. It was a laughter as if he had been told a funny joke. What's so funny? Hana asked. He paused long enough to look at their faces. Wait, you're serious? They nodded. He didn't know whether to laugh or curse. Of all the things you could have said. Naruto muttered, this was the least expected. You know it's true. Hana stated, you can tell when someone lies to you. Are we lying? Yugao asked. Naruto paused to feel for them. He did not like the answer he found in them. They're telling the truth. Now he only felt like cursing. Now that he laughed a familiar laugh. One of coldness. Well, Heims. He spoke mockingly, if you want my love, then get on your knees and crawl to me. They were proud Kunoichi. They were proud women. Usually if any man had said something like that to them, there would be a fight. But these proud Kunoichi were desperate. They wanted nothing more than to get back on Naruto's good side. Even if it caused them public humiliation, they'd do what he asked. So they tossed their pride to the side and dropped to their knees. They made their way toward Naruto, keeping their heads down and eyes averted. When they finally reached him, they looked up. What they saw didn't make them happy. Naruto wasn't wearing a smile of any kind. Instead, he had on a frown of complete disappointment. Wah. Slap. Both the Ice Queens and the Heims were shocked by his action. Naruto wasn't one for hitting women, even with a broken heart. He usually only did so in combat. Even when the Ice Queens had broken up with him, he had never attacked him until the contract. Now he delivered a blow to each of them that knocked them to the ground. When everyone had a grasp of themselves, he was gone. Naruto was jumping around the village as he tried to clear his head. He hadn't felt this confused in a while. On one hand, the Ice Queens were telling him the truth. They wanted him to forgive them. They had even submitted to utter humiliation. It was too confusing. The worst part was he couldn't even drink his problems away. It was a situation that was too crazy for him to drive mad. Not physically real so that he could stab it. Or even trustworthy enough to show love. What was a guy to do? Well, for Naruto, there was only one thing to do. Go to his little piece of heaven. Bet you all forgot about the foxes again. Naruto was finally relaxed. He was in his little den with his foxes. His own home away from home. He was with his first family. Hey guys. He says to them. And girls. He hastily added. It seemed his family had been growing in his absence. There were more foxes crowding around him. He couldn't be happier, it was the same as having a larger family. He couldn't help but fall asleep. Then he felt it, the disturbance. Someone else was coming toward him. The shocker was that it wasn't his Heims or the Ice Queens. "Naruto," a male voice called. "Who has the balls to come here?" Naruto shouted. It was Shikamaru arriving in a nervous fashion. "Before you do anything," he stated, "I have a seal from your girlfriend, the Hokage. It must be important." Naruto realized. He became confused when Shikamaru pulled out a small sheet of paper. He began speaking in a rehearsed manner. "Naruto, what is your favorite thing to do?" "To spread my love to my Heim," Naruto answered without hesitation. "And driving people insane," Shikamaru stated. "Just try to fucking stop me. Even through hunting people down like an animal?" he asked. Second verse same as the first. Naruto stated, "Now put me on a plane so I can put them in a hearse." "It's too troublesome to ask what you just said," Shikamaru stated. "Here's the mission." Naruto 2-1 peek at it. "Haha. The mission? Retrieve Sasuke, dead or alive." Chapter end. So how was the story? I hope you like it. And if you like it, share this story with your friends and like the video too. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for daily awesome fanfiction. Okay, it's time for me to go. Bye bye.